Next, I'd like to talk about showing up early. So there's a lot of people that like to, show up fashionably late, hey, I'm here. And then there's the people that show up on time, and that's okay. But why I think it's important to show up early is just because you can get the whole lay of the land and you can set yourself up to be able to socialize better. Because so if you show up on time or late, then usually there's a lot of people there already, and then you have to try to find, where am I going to sit, what's open still, let me
Sure.
try to figure this out with all these people there. But if you are one of the first ones, then you can walk in and say, okay, that's where the food is, that's where we're going to stand and mingle here, then there's seating over there, and you can plan out what's the best place for me, where do I need to set myself up in this room, and you can get yourself settled in, and then you can watch people come in. And if you've
Certainly.
done that pre-known thing ahead of time, then you can actually spot, as some of these people that you've uh, had these earlier relationships with, to get pre-known, you could say, oh, there's Jim, there's Susan, they just came in. And then it's always best to, before people get settled in, you can go and hit them up while they're new, trying to figure it out. You're like, oh, hey, because you're comfortable, you've been there, you're there, you know
Sure.
where all the stuff is.
Right.
They are showing up trying to figure it out. So you get that advantage of being able to greet people, see who's coming in, and just get settled in properly. And it makes a huge difference, especially if you are a little more shy or socially awkward. It's just great to be there early, just to get your foundation under your belt, and it's very helpful. I know that you've done this yourself. I know that you've I'm sure that there's been times where you did show up late, and there's been times that I know that now you're starting to show up early. And have you seen it make a difference in the way that you are able to navigate the social scene?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is huge. I think, both of us being prior military, I think this is also something that's kind of drilled into you is, showing up on time is 10 minutes early to the 10 minutes early, formation. So, um, yeah, absolutely. So with kids, sometimes it's a little more challenging to get things done on time. So you got to like figure out different mechanisms to stay on time, setting earlier alarms. But yeah, so going to events, I can think of specific times. Now, I think most people have had this experience. You're going to an interview, right? And your interview is at 10 o'clock. You're supposed to show up. You can use all of these techniques and tactics the same way as an interview or as an event. But you go there and it doesn't really matter who you are. You've had 100 interviews. You're an introvert. You're an extrovert. It doesn't really matter. It's still going to be a new situation, and most people are going to be a little bit less comfortable, I would say, going to an interview. But giving yourself that time to show up early to an interview, an event, a meeting with somebody, a new deal, showing up to a house, giving yourself a little bit of time to be able to get yourself situated, take a couple good deep breaths is going to make you so much more calm and so much more confident when you're going to them. And yeah, I absolutely do this as well. If the event is at 9 o'clock in the morning, I try to be there when the doors open. If it's at 8 o'clock, I try to be there and be one of the first people to go in, get my name badge or whatever it is, go try to meet the people who are greeting you at the door. Oh, hey, how's it going? Also if I did meet some people the day before, also have them try to show up, an hour earlier, get some food, have one of those first coffees with somebody, meet people over by the proverbial the water cooler or whatever. So um, it's been helpful for me in that I've been able to calm down from a little bit of the heightened level of, I don't want to say anxiety, but the heightened level of energy that I'm at. So I wouldn't necessarily consider myself a full-blown introvert or yeah, introvert, but I'm definitely a little socially awkward, and I have a little bit higher nerves in situations, even after meeting with 100 different contractors to go and build my house, and then I'm paying for them to do it. Every single time, I still have to go through these processes, and I still have to go through a lot of these techniques. So, showing up early has been a successful trait in doing so. Is
All
there too early, Nick? Is there a too early to show up? Should I show up at 3 in the morning for a 10 o'clock event? What should I do?
Well, I think that, early, I usually try to do about half an hour myself. I'm sure that if you are super, super early, then yeah, the doors are closed. You're just this lone car out in the parking lot. Then I don't, that might be a little too much because then you're just,
Sure.
hey, come on, open up, trying to get in there. But I don't know if there's a real disadvantage to it because you might be able to, I don't know, meditate or something while you're waiting, and
Sure.
you're not going to get lost on the way. You're there, you're already there, and you're just hanging out. So, uh, but yeah, probably not 3 hours early or anything like that. But yeah, if you're half an hour early is good, and just to be one of the first ones in. Also, you'll a lot of the people that are organizing the event, if you're early, you can meet those people because usually they're there, and the people that are running all the behind the scenes stuff, they're all there. If you show up early, you can meet those people
Hmm.
versus not meeting them if you're on time or late.